Two nuclear bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 brought an end to the Second World War in the Pacific. The nuclear attacks forced Japan's capitulation. They also avoided a ground war, which American military planners claimed would have prolonged the Pacific conflict and cost hundreds of thousands of lives. After the assault on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese were dehumanized by Americans as the Yellow Peril. Some 80,000 Japanese Americans were interned as security risks. So, was anti-Japanese sentiment a motivating force behind the nuclear attack? Not according to established historians, who insist that military tactics and geopolitics mattered more than anti-Japanese racism. The first test of an atomic bomb took place in July 1945, following the suicide of Adolf Hitler and the surrender of Nazi Germany. The Manhattan Project, the secret U.S. program to develop nuclear weapons, could not have produced an atomic bomb in time to use against the Germans, it is claimed. The nuclear explosions also sent the strongest geopolitical message to the Soviet Union, which had real ambitions to establish communism in Japan. However, what is not in doubt is the fact that the Allies' wartime and post-war activities were profoundly influenced by racist assumptions and motives. The Second World War was essentially a European struggle for economic and political hegemony, played out across the global territories of the European empires. It is estimated that India contributed some 2.5 million volunteers to the British war effort. Forces from West and East Africa numbered some 520,000 troops. Some 16,000 West Indian men and women served Britain also. More than 1 million African Americans were added to Europe's defense, yet, the vast numbers of non-white troops who served the Allies' war aims are almost invisible in the many film documentaries and photo albums which immortalize the liberation of Europe. Non-white soldiers have been written out of Europe's history, because it was politically unacceptable to show publicly that Europe needed the help of colonial subjects to survive the Nazi onslaught. Evidently, the Allies would not have been able to sustain a global struggle against the Axis powers without their colonies. Had the European empires truly honored the service and sacrifices of its colonies, then surely, the post-war social and political attitudes towards the colonial migrants, who arrived later to rebuild Western Europe, would have been markedly different.